Today I wanted to talk to you about momentum. In the early 2000s, this is a true story. My sister and I had just gotten back. I had basically quit my job in California. I just moved out, quit my job, and a buddy of mine had said, "Hey, let's go travel through Europe." We're doing like $30 a day type of deal. And we had just gotten back from that. My sister had bought a boat up in Seattle, and she asked me if I wanted to help her sail it down to San Diego. And I thought, yeah, that's cool. Sounds like a good time. So we get up there. She had bought a 46-foot trimaran, I believe, or 43-foot trimaran. If you don't know what that is, there's pontoons on the outside, and then you basically live. You can live in the middle, and you can live in the pontoons. And so the goal was to go from Seattle to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco down to San Diego. We get out 100 miles out of Seattle, and we get caught into a storm that proceeded to kick the tar out of us until we wound up 300 miles off the coast, and we were way past San Francisco. We could only travel one direction without the boat basically just falling apart. And no motor. I forgot to tell you that. The motor cut out. So we were on this little storm sail, and we were just heading one direction, south by southwest, away from the United States, out into the middle of the Pacific. And after 12 days, this storm broke, and we just sat in the middle of the ocean. There was no wind at all. And while we were happy that we were kind of out of this storm, it was so frustrating to be sitting in the middle of the ocean with zero chance of getting anywhere. I mean, we had taken the motor apart and put it back together. We couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. And it was just, it was devastating to not have any momentum. And when I see a lot of contractors who are working on their businesses, a lot of times they have this start, stop, and they don't get any real momentum going. And part of the reason for that is because they just don't have steady business. You land a job, and then you have to kind of focus on getting that job done, and then you have to find more work, right? Or you go to the next job on the schedule. So it's really, really important to be able to build that momentum. And one of the big keys to being able to do that is to have, when you have a full schedule, is being able to generate phone calls. And, it's also even starts a little bit earlier than that. When you want to, with your marketing, you need little wins, right? Like you need to get a little bit going so that you can see that you're actually making some traction. You need to get some phone calls. You need to get some leads. You need to get some of your videos viewed. So, take wherever it is that you want to go, and just figure out little ways to build momentum towards that. And if any of you who have followed me for any amount of time know that I believe in replacing yourself as the contractor. Your production should not be tied to that, to you. And because if it is, and it's fine if you want to do that way, just make sure you're saving for retirement. But try to remove yourself from the production as quickly as possible. And even moving towards that goal, you can set up little checkpoints, and little places where you can get momentum. Because when you get that momentum, it's a little bit easier to keep going. So that's the thought for today. If you're interested in more training like this, SellYourSawdust.com. There's the major training there, which shows you how to build trust and generate leads in your area. So see you guys in another video.